everyone, good morning, hope you're all okay. Welcome to my channel. My name's Emily, and if you are new here, big welcome to you. This is I usually do a bit of prepping on my channel as well, so if that sounds like something you'd be really interested in, then please consider subscribing and making sure that you press that bell notification. I'm just gonna do the first part of this as a speaking bit, so if you've got other things to do, I know I appreciate that. I can just leave my phone and go and do whatever I want, and then what I will do is I'll just put in a small video at the end of me practically doing all this so you can see what this is all about. Obviously I am not an expert. Do your own research, do your own due diligence. You need to do your own stuff. I can give you a basic outline, but you need to make sure that you're researching this stuff properly yourself as well, which is why it took me such a long time, because I wanted to make sure my facts were straight before I filmed this. So with everything going the way it is, I don't think personally that getting a few things to put aside is a bad thing. As we know, inflation is just another tax that the government put on stuff. So not only are you paying taxes on your wages, yours, your husband's, your partner's, whoever's, there's also that when you go to the grocery store, or whether you go to get anything seems to now be at an inflated rate, and it's only going to get worse. So not only do we do this to preserve things longer term, and I'll go through what you can store and what you can and how long you can do it for, but this is inflation busting, because you are putting things away at this price. So in the future, when it's, I don't know, 20% more, 30% more, double, whatever, triple, you could do this and know that you've saved money as well as that. So let me stop waffling and get on with it. So Mylar is an amazing longer term way of saving things that have what is known as a low OTR, I had to look up for this, oxygen transmission rate. So stuff that basically spoils quickly. As you can see, it's flexible and thin, and you can do a lot of things with it. It preserves, and also the good thing about this is it preserves nutrients as well. So whatever you put in there is what, as long as you store it properly, put the oxygen absorbers in, it will come out the other end just as you put it in today. It doesn't have to be for 25 years. I'll go through everything. You don't have to just do food in these. I will go through all of that. For the smaller bags like this, I recommend 5mm at least. You don't have to go anywhere special for these. I did get these big ones off a special Mylar company online that I will give you the address for later, but these just came off eBay. So yeah, and you can get them from anywhere. So 5mm for these. If you're going to go for these massive bags, I would go 7mm and up, just because more weight in there. There's going to be quite a few kilograms of things in here, and also we'll get on to oxygen absorbers in a second, but oh, that was wrinkled. But if you do get one this size, I hope you're seeing this, what we can do is, you can see how big this is. You can also cut it to size and literally just seal it both sides. So even though these seem like a massive waste, cut them up and do what you want with them. That's the beauty of Mylar as well. Just seal it up both sides. So don't ever think if you can't get hold of this size is wasted. In some ways, getting 4 or 5 bags out of this, if that's all you can get at the time, then that's just as good. So these are the 3 sizes that I've got, usually only the sizes that I buy. 100cc in the little ones, 300cc in those, and then these big ones need 2 or 2,500 cc's in them if you're going to fill up the whole thing. If not, you only need one of these or one of these. I will go on to later how much to put in each one depending on the size of your bag, so don't worry about that. So yeah, some of the things that you can put in this besides food are, excuse me while I look at my notes, valuable documents, photos. You can make your own MREs, which is meals ready to eat. So all of that army stuff, all the camping stuff you see, you can actually, I'll put a picture in here, make your own food up and vacuum seal it to take like camping with you or whatever. That's what I do as well. It saves money. You can store clothes in this. You can store herbs and spices, teas and coffees. You can store medical supplies in this, and also you can save seeds in this and vacuum seal it. Fantastic. And the big kicker, what else can you do in it? Of course, you can put cash in it. You can put cash in it, and you can seal it, and then you know that that cash is in there. Because obviously I know cash is a bit plasticky these days, but yeah, by all means, put it in there instead. But yeah, if you want to know what else goes inside it, then Google it. The choices are absolutely endless of what you can do with these bags. Doesn't necessarily have to be for food. So yeah, that was just a little introduction. Sorry, excuse me while I've got so many notes on this because I wanted to get everything proper for you guys, as I've had such a lot of questions. So in these, for up to a year, because of the high oil and fat content, things like nuts, crisps, chocolates, raisins and high moisture biscuits can only be stored in these for up to a year. Now what I usually do is I wouldn't bother wasting my money on these to store things like that. I mean, chocolate usually gets a year or so on it anyway. If at the end of that year you haven't eaten it and then you do want to store it, you can do that then and give it an extra year's life. Have done that. But yeah, if it's anything sort of like that, I wouldn't waste money on these because these are quite expensive. I would save these for things that are maybe longer term or more expensive now. And then obviously you do you, but yeah, that's what I would do. But I did want to say that you can store stuff like that. Also, if you can, it seems to be that storing the things that make those things, so if you made your own biscuits, you made your own cakes and stuff, the stuff to go in these lasts a lot longer. So I'm sure a lot of you can cook already, but if you can't, might be worth just brushing up on some skills. So then all you need to store is flour and fat, and you know, and then you've got the means to make your own, and then also you know where it's from as well. So yeah, so 1 to 3 years is stuff like beef jerky. If you can if you make your own, if you dehydrate it or freeze dry it, make your own. Yeast, dry biscuits, stuff with a lower moisture rate, like rich tea and stuff like that. But again, I wouldn't, it probably will come out, you know, okay, but again, I would save this for longer term things. So things you can store in here, like I said, is herbs. So ground herbs last between 3 and 5 years. Full fat powdered milk, I'll put a picture in here. This is the stuff that I get. Because it is full fat, it's only 3 to 5 years on it. Personally, if I was in a tin like what's on the screen, I wouldn't take it out of here to put in here. But if I bought it bulk online, I then would put it in here, if that makes sense, because that tin of full cream milk is going to last a lot longer than 3 to 5 years in this Mylar bag. So you can also do sprouting seeds, like my red clover in the other video that I've put up before this one. Stuff like that, that can go in here for 3 to 5 years, which is fantastic. And also they do say that you can put baby milk in here, but that's a judgment call for you. I have no kids that have baby milk. I can't remember the last time I used baby milk. it's up to you. So just, you know, be sensible, use your own discernment, use whatever you feel comfortable with. So 5 to 10 years is granola, whole herbs, as in dried whole herbs. Like bay leaves and things. Love my bay leaves, you know that. I buy masses of them. Unbleached flour, semi-skimmed milk. So 8 to 10 years on semi-skimmed milk because it's had some of the fat content taken out of it. Also powdered egg. This is another thing that I will Mylar bag at the end. I have some powdered egg that I need to Mylar bag. Probably be doing them in these. I want smaller quantities of them. Yeah, so unbleached flour, I've said that. Whole herbs, yeah. So, and quinoa. Quinoa will keep 5 to 10 years in these bags. I would, if I were you, I'd take them out of the bag that they're in, and as long as, you know, these bags haven't been anywhere and you haven't opened the inside, I will put them straight in, because everything that you need that Mylar bag to do is there. You don't need plastic inside it, really. You just need your food and an oxygen absorber. That oxygen absorber is going to knock out every bit of oxygen in there, so you know that nothing can grow, nothing, no mold can grow, no anything. This is what I mean about why this is really, really a good system. If you can afford a few bags, the oxygen absorbers to go in them, why it's so worth saving this stuff. So 10 to 20 years, we've got dried chickpeas, like in my order, wheat, flax, wheat flour. It says whole wheat flour. Whole wheat flour is different to white flour because obviously it has some good grains in it. Those good grains are quite fatty, and that's why they go rancid after a while, and why you can't store them like bleach flour for like 20 or 30 years, because of that moisture and fat content in the brown flour. So whole wheat flour, I should say. Also the OO pasta flour will keep in these bags for 5 to 10 years, and also buckwheat. I use buckwheat in some of the bread that I bake, and also I will use buckwheat in soups and stews, as in the whole grain. Lovely stuff, wonderful stuff, really bulks out things. So we're getting on to the biggies now, between 20 and 30 years. First up, instant coffee. So instant coffee, tea, loose tea, also freeze-dried fruit and veg, got to be freeze-dried. If you've got a freeze dryer, I can't afford one, they're about £2,000. I'd love one, fortunately. It would take me forever to save for that. Beans, lentils, oats and white rice, all of this stuff will last for years in here. Pasta, potato flakes, dried onions and skimmed milk powder. As long as it's skimmed, you've got a 20 or 30 year life on it. Any sort of grains, oats, and whole wheat pasta. I'll show you how to do that as well, because I've got some pasta that needs Mylar bagging. Yeah, loose potato flakes, anything like that. All of these things will keep for 20 to 30 years. So, sorry, let me just move my thing over. Sorry if that made you a bit seasick. So, yes, then we come on to the stuff that was given to us by God. So, the heavenly list of things that God gave to us that have an infinite shelf life. So we have baking soda, baking powder, honey, salt, sugar and cornstarch. Those are the ones that I've got written down. I'm sure there are more, but Google it. These are the wonderful things that were given to us by God that will, as long as you keep them in, you know, a reasonable condition, will never go off. And also all of those things, baking soda powder, honey, salt, sugar and cornstarch, don't put oxygen absorbers in those. They don't need them. It will make them go rock hard and make them impossible when you come to use them. So all of those things, all of those forever things, as I call them, they don't need these. What I will say is, one thing that I did notice is some salt yellows over years. That does not mean that it's gone off, and that does not mean that it's not potent anymore. It just means that it's discoloured from something that was in there. It's nothing to worry about. That's one thing I did want to say. And assuming you keep all these things in a cool, dark place, away from pests and massive temperature fluctuations. I mean, you know, a few here and there, you're going to get colder in the winter and a bit warmer in the summer. It's, you know, as long as you're not keeping it in a shed or a garage or a basement or a loft where you've got massive fluctuations in temperature, these things will last. Like I said, the list at the end is endless. It's my forever list. And all your pastas and your flour, 20 to 30 years easy in this, and that is a conservative estimate from what I'm told. They probably would go longer than that. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, there's loads of information. I'll put my website down below. I would just talk a little bit about oxygen absorbers. Oscar, table, tar. Now these, you can see, the one's purple, one's pink, and one's sort of a maroony colour. All of those colours are fine, because these ones actually, that one's brand new, but these I've had for years. So what we do is, for the size of your bag dictates the size of your oxygen absorber. Now, oxygen absorbers, you can't add too many. So if you're unsure, then please add another one in. It will not hurt. Whereas if you don't add enough, might not keep your Mylar bags fresh for as long as you want them to. Yeah, this is the one that stops it sucks the 20% oxygen out in there. So that means that nothing then can grow. So you've got no pests, no nothing. I personally, in the last few years, I've had terrible problems trying to keep flour. So 1 second. Okay, everyone, sorry about that. That was a postman. Oxygen absorbers. You can always put another one in, but you can't put another one in if you haven't added enough. So if you're unsure, just pop another one in. There's no hardship to it. You can't add too many. So what I would say is, these are all fine. As I said, these are really old. I've had these for years. This is a new one because I ran out of 100 cc's. All of these I've checked are fine. If you buy off the internet, you should come with one of these. I will show you that it changes colour. It can change back when we do our practical, but if these are blue, that means that there is oxygen in there somewhere. Obviously these are all vacuum packed, so there's no oxygen in there at all. It's all been sucked out. So yeah, if you ever get a pack and it's got a blue indicator, don't use them because they've been oxygenated already. So before removing your oxygen absorbers, what I usually do is, and I'll go through what I do. So say we're filling up this one. 100 cc's would be fine for this one, by the way, but you can add extra if you want to. So what we first of all do is we will write down what's in it and when you did it. And this is before we've got any of this out or anything. What's in there and what it is and when you packed it. So yeah, now we're not having a game of you know, roulette with, ooh, what's in there, don't know. If you have several things to do, I usually do a lot of things at once. What I will do is I will add as well onto the bag how many oxygen absorbers I need, what oxygen absorber I need, and how many I need of that in the corner. So I can look and say, cool, I need 2 300s, or you know, I need 5 of these, or whatever it is. So yeah, I do that in the corner as well. Saves you a lot of time before you've opened these and they start oxygenated, because as soon as these open, the oxygen starts getting to them, so they start going off. And fill up your Mylar bag ready. Then once you've done that, yeah, fill up your Mylar bag ready. I generally clean the area first, and maybe disinfect it a bit, because you are talking about food and I really don't want to find a dog hair in there 10 years from now. So yeah, I will clean the area first. Write down on each bag what it is, then get the product ready, fill the bags up, then add these. Now, if I use like Kilner jars like this, bigger ones. Once you've opened them, I then smack in what I need to. I only do a couple at a time, and I'll put the rest in a jar and put the lid on it. Now you will see that they go slightly blue, and then they will go back to red or orange or purple, or it's a reddy orangey colour. And you know that you've stopped the oxygenization of those. Oh God, big words. It's so early in the morning. I'm so sorry. So yeah, and then you know that they've been sealed until you fill up some more bags, and then open it, quickly pop them in, seal them, and straight away put the jar on this. And then what I would do is, if you have a vacuum sealer, I noticed that online these vacuum sealers, which are a great thing in themselves without all this, to have, they come with those rolls of bags that just suck the oxygen out of everything. It's a good thing to use on your frozen meat and that sort of thing, because not only does it shrink it to like a third of the size, but it also means that the oxygen doesn't get to it. They're about 12 or 14 pounds. And all the unused ones that I haven't used, I will reseal them, but I will only do that once. And usually what I do now is I buy enough for what I need, and I use them all in one go. But you can do that if you need to. Seal them in a jar. Some people leave them in that jar. I prefer to take them out and vacuum seal them again, just so you've got no oxygen going in there, because obviously they're starting to lose their life as soon as they come out of here. So that's that. What else did I need to go through? Anything else? Fill up your bags ready. Yeah, we've done all that. Yeah, the leftover can be vacuum sealed, but I usually just do, and you don't have to buy them like this. There are companies that, like, because these are so massive, will put them in individual packets. So I don't know whether that costs more or not. I've only ever bought them like this. But if you go to the Mylar bag company that's over here that I've got, that I'll leave the website for down below, I don't know if they sell them individually. Sometimes, if they're that big, they do sell 2,000 and 2,500 cc's individually. So you'll only ever have to open one instead of opening all these and trying to save them. So just thought I'd mention that. Be careful of the quantities that you buy. Make sure you can do all that, and then seal them quickly. So basically all you need is to wipe over your flat irons. I have 2 sets of flat irons actually. This one now is completely for Mylar bagging. My other ones are for my hair. I don't actually flat iron my hair. I don't actually straighten my hair anymore. So I did buy another one. There was a jumble sale at my mum's church, and I think it was £3 or £4 I bought another set of these for, just for that. But I'd wipe them down first, and you know, just make it as clean as possible. You don't need to be anal and surgical about it, but just make sure that everything's clean and nothing's in there that shouldn't be in there, for as a nice surprise when you open it. Okay, another thing is, I haven't got one actually, but when I seal them in the practical bit at the end of the video, I will show you that sometimes all the air does not get sucked out, so it doesn't always look like that. Sometimes you've got movement in it, you can still hear stuff shaking in it. doesn't matter. As long as you've put enough of these in, that is absolutely fine. You do not have to press all the air out of the end of it before you seal it. I do, because I think it saves space, but you don't have to do that. And if after a few hours your oxygen absorber has not sucked it all in, so it's not tight like this, it does not matter. Does not matter. As long as you've added enough of these, not everything goes as tight as a brick. I wanted to say that as well. So, and also check after a day, and if you're unsure at the time you're sealing it, just pop it over again. It doesn't hurt. I work across and then in and out and in and out and then across again, just to make sure I've done it. And if you don't think one of these is very good, then do that to it as well. It doesn't matter. You can't seal these too much. So after a day, I would then get it back out, gently squeeze it, make sure you're not hearing any air come out of it, or there's no visible openings to it. Yeah, it's all good then. I then keep mine in plastic boxes, just for ease. I do write, obviously on the main body, but I do then tend to write on the top what it is, just so when they're stacked, I can see what everything is without dragging everything out. Anything else? I think that's it. It's a hard thing. This is a bit of an outlay. I mean, these are the expensive. The oxygen absorber seems to be so expensive at the moment. I think I got 100 of these Mylar bags, so not very much on eBay. But these cost me about £12 or £15 each, and they're only 100 cc's. So shop around, make sure you're getting a good deal. And like I said, if that comes in blue, send it back, because something's happened to that somewhere. It should be a sort of reddy orangey colour, anything but this colour blue. So it is available everywhere. They are, like I said, 5 mils and then 7 mils for the bigger ones. You don't have to do that, by the way, but I do, because obviously if you're filling up something this size, it's just massive and it needs to hold the weight. Yeah, so seal it quickly, and then make sure you've written everything on there so you're not getting pot luck. I hope this has been helpful. I'm now just going to do a tiny little practical video just to show you what I do. But if you have enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, and if you need to share it with people, then please do. I'd like to have as many people as I can. If nothing else, you don't have to be a prepper to do this. If nothing else, beat inflation, because everything you put in this bag and seal properly and store properly is just sticking the bird up to inflation. And yeah, it's another poke in the eye to tax, because obviously inflation, like I said, is another tax. There's a tax to hurt us, working people. So I will now pass you over to my future self, and I will see you in a minute. Okay, bye.